ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. I welcome everyone for this new series of sessions on the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga, the most confidential knowledge. During the auspicious Purushottam month, we covered the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Purushottama Yoga. And after that series, several Vaishnavas across the globe they requested to cover entire Bhagavad Gita in a similar format, one shloka per day. Not sure how much is that practical at this moment, but we have chosen one chapter, the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga. Uh, Now we will cover this chapter in the next 34 days. There are 34 shlokas in the ninth chapter, and in the next 34 days, we'll cover these 34 shlokas, one shloka per day. Our format is simple. We'll recite the shloka a couple of times. We'll discuss its meaning in a very, very simplified format. And we will also discuss some very important lessons given by Srila Prabhupada in the purport and few other commentaries from different acharyas like Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. And we will not keep these episodes very philosophical or academic or highly intellectual. We'll keep it very lucid, very simple so that even children also can understand. And why this ninth chapter I have chosen? Because this is one of my favorite chapters in the Bhagavad Gita. And in this shloka, in this chapter, Krishna reveals his heart. Krishna describes the simplicity and practicality and supremacy of the path of bhakti. And he also reveals how affectionate he is towards his devotees. Some of the very famous shlokas like Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru, which is considered the essence of the essence of the essence of all scriptures, that shloka is present in this chapter. Ananyas chintayanto mam yajanaha paripasate patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. And we'll also find Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakriti mashrita, taking shelter of Devi Prakriti Srimati Radharani. And Satatam kirtayanto mam, always chanting the holy names of the Lord. So all such beautiful, very famous and essential shlokas of Bhagavad Gita are found in this chapter. And further, we'll understand how affectionate Krishna is towards his devotees through what he spoke in this chapter. So very, very sweet chapter. So let's begin. Our format is simple. We'll discuss the shloka and its meaning and some perspectives from the commentaries. So let's begin. Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga, the most confidential knowledge. First shloka. Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyaamyanasuyave gnanam vignana sahitam yajnatva mokshasye shubhat. Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyaamyanasuyave gnanam vignana sahitam yajnatva mokshasye shubhat. So in this shloka, Krishna is revealing the greatness of the knowledge that he is going to reveal. In fact, in the first three shlokas, Krishna describes the greatness of the knowledge of bhakti before he actually enters into the presentation of knowledge of bhakti. So Krishna says, Idam tu te guhyatamam. Guhya means secret, means confidential. Krishna says, the knowledge that I am going to reveal to you, O Arjuna, is very confidential. Idam tu te guhyatamam. Now, confidentiality is at three levels. Guhya means confidential. Guhyatara means more confidential. Guhyatama means most confidential. Now the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, ninth chapter, which Krishna is going to reveal, that is most confidential. So Krishna says, Idam tute guhyatamam. Guhya is confidential. Guhyatamam means most confidential. Pravakshyami, I'm going to reveal to you that most confidential knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, of Bhakti, right? So the knowledge that Krishna is going to reveal in the ninth chapter is most confidential. We will see the levels of confidentiality very soon. Then, what is the qualification of Arjuna to receive this most confidential knowledge? See this word. Anasuyave. Asuya means envy. Anasuyava means one who is non-envious. Oh Arjuna, because you are non-envious, that makes you eligible to receive this most confidential knowledge of bhakti. Clear? So the meaning of the first half of the shloka is Krishna is telling Arjuna, oh Arjuna, because you are very non-envious, you have no envy in your heart, I am going to reveal to you the most confidential knowledge of pure devotional service. That's the meaning. We'll discuss more details. Now let's go to the second half of the shloka. What does this confidential secret contain? This guhyatamam, what does it contain? It contains two things. Gnanam vijnana sahitam. First is gnanam. Gnana means knowledge. But vijnana is realized knowledge. Gnana is theoretical knowledge. Vijnana is practically realized knowledge. Jnanam vijnana sahitam. I will I will present both Gnana and Vijnana. I will give you knowledge also and the process of applying that knowledge by which you can realize that knowledge also. And what is the benefit of being equipped with this Gnana and Vijnana, knowledge and realization? Yajnatva mokshase ashubhat. Once you are equipped with this Gnana and Vijnana, what happens? Mokshase, you will be released. You will be relieved from Ashubhat. Ashubha means inauspiciousness. Shubha is auspiciousness. Ashubha means inauspiciousness in the form of suffering or miseries in this world. Hope it's clear. Let me tell you the meaning once again. First Krishna says, Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyami anusuyave. Arjuna, because you are non-envious, I will reveal to you the most confidential secret of bhakti. And it includes gnanam, knowledge, and vijnanam, realization of that knowledge. And if you are equipped with this gnana and vijnana, then moksha se ashubhat, you will be relieved from all miseries, all sufferings, all inauspiciousness. Now, in this shloka, there are four parts. First, guhyatamam. So, we'll discuss this shloka in four levels, four parts. First is guhyatamam, confidentiality. We'll discuss about confidentiality now. Second is non-envy, because non-envy is the qualification to understand this confidential secret. Third is gnana vijnana sahitam, knowledge and realization. Fourth is relief from material miseries. Let's go one by one. So first, Krishna says this is most confidential knowledge. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna revealed knowledge, confidential knowledge of three levels. First, Guhya. Second, Guhyatara. Third, Guhyatama. Guhya means confidential knowledge, which is presented in the initial chapters of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2 to 6. Right? In 2 to 6, we find Guhya knowledge, means knowledge of the soul. Who am I? What is my activity? So all that basics of foundational aspects of spiritual life, of understanding of the soul, Atma Tattva, that's presented in the initial chapters, that is considered confidential knowledge. Later, in chapter number 7 and 8, Krishna revealed more confidential knowledge, Guhyatara knowledge, where he spoke about himself, who is Krishna, how Krishna is the source of everything, what are Krishna's energies, how to remember Krishna at the time of death. So, knowing Krishna, that is the Guhyatara knowledge, more confidential knowledge. Now, in the chapters 9 and 10, Krishna will reveal most confidential knowledge, Guhyatama knowledge, where Krishna reveals his unlimited love for us. He reveals the knowledge of pure bhakti. Yes, he introduced bhakti in a general sense in the 7 and 8 chapters, but he speaks pure devotional service in the 9th and 10th chapters. We'll understand how Krishna lies everywhere, how to please Krishna with simple procedures of bhakti, patram pushpam phalam toyam. We'll also understand his vibhutis. So, confidential knowledge is to know yourself. More confidential knowledge is to know Krishna. Most confidential knowledge is to understand how to love Krishna, how to become a lover of Krishna. So therefore, this this knowledge is most confidential secret, guhyatamam. Now, what is the qualification to receive this secret, most confidential secret? That is anasuyave, non-envy. Asuya means envy. When there is envy in the heart, we cannot understand spiritual knowledge. Simple. So one must be free from envy, fault finding, hatred, and intolerance towards other success. So when one is free from envy, they can understand this knowledge. We should appreciate others' good qualities. We should not find faults in others. Of course, you can, when you see some faults, in a mode of servant, you can always correct them with a well-wishing heart if they're receptive. But we should not just be focusing on the negativity and ignore the good qualities of people. We should be kind, respectful, well-wishing, tolerant. So when that kind of non-envious heart is there, then Bhagavad Gita knowledge is revealed. Not only Bhagavad Gita, if you go to Srimad Bhagavatam, it's mentioned Dharma projita kaita votra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam. So Bhagavatam says, who will understand Bhagavatam? One who is non-envious. Dirmatsaranam satam vedyam means Bhagavatam is understood by those who are non-envious. To the degree we are non-envious, to that degree we can understand Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's how we enter into the spiritual realm of Vaikuntha, of Goloka. So when there's envy in the heart, we have no place in the spiritual world. Forget place in the spiritual world, we cannot even understand spiritual knowledge properly when there's envy in the heart. So Krishna says, Anasuya ve. Arjuna, you have no asuya. Sometimes we are envious of teachers. Who is he to teach me? I know everything. Because of envy towards the teacher, you cannot accept the teacher's superior position and we cannot learn, right? So we should come out of that envious nature. Not only teacher, anybody. We should not envy anyone. Mhm. Because when we envy somebody, generally the reason is they have something which you don't have. They are something which you are not. Therefore, you are envying. But please understand, without Krishna's sanction, can someone be powerful? Can someone possess anything? Means if I am envious of someone who has something which I don't have, that means I am going against Krishna's sanction. Krishna sanctioned that glory upon this devotee, and I am not comfortable with that glory. That means I'm envious of Krishna. In one sense, envy towards anybody is envy towards Krishna. It may be little, it may sound little harsh, but that's the reality, right? So we should come out of envy to understand Gita or Bhagavatam, anything else. So we should celebrate other success. Next, we discussed two lines. You remember? Idam tu te guhyatamam. I am revealing to you most confidential knowledge. What is that confidentiality we have seen? Then pravakshyami anasuyave. The qualification to receive this confidential secret is anasuya, means no asuya. We spoke about asuya. Now, third line, jnanam vijnana sahitam. Let's focus on these words jnana and vijnana. Jnana is knowledge. Vijnana means realized knowledge. How will this knowledge convert into realization? By application. So you acquire theoretical knowledge and start practicing it. Apply your understanding in your practical life. Then that theoretical understanding will become practical realization. That jnana will become vijnana by practice. How will knowledge become realization? By application, by practice. For example, somebody reads books about swimming, right? He gets knowledge. Oh, this is how we need to swim. This is how you need to stroke. So there is a lot of theory about swimming. You keep on reading about swimming. But you only have knowledge about swimming, but you don't know exactly swimming. You need to enter water. You should start practicing all the tips that you have learned in that swimming book. And by that, you'll be able to swim properly. That is realization. So this is knowledge, theoretical knowledge. This is jnana. This is vijnana. So what made this jnana into vijnana? Application, practice. For example, somebody acquires so much knowledge about different recipes, uh, different types of recipes by reading a cookbook. But unless he starts cooking, sometimes he may spoil some ingredients also while cooking. So he keeps on practicing. Oh, this is the recipe I read. Let me try it. So you keep on trying it, you practice it, then you may cook 5 times or 10 times, then you can master that recipe. Then that is Vijnana, right? Knowledge is Jnanam, realization is Vijnanam, and what converts this Jnana into Vijnana? Abhyasa, practice. Just like a cook reads a cookbook, recipe book, then he practices it, and he tries to make that item, and after making it few times, he will make it perfectly. This is realization. So we should not stop at a theoretical understanding of spiritual subject matters. We should come to practically realize them, right? Not just learning shlokas, not just memorizing statements from the scriptures, not even just repeating them. Make a sincere attempt to apply them, at least some of them. And then you can internalize it, realize it, assimilate it, absorb it by applying it. Then it becomes Vijnana, right? We may know so many things, but at least we should realize some things about them, among them. So now let me reveal some confidential perspectives of these words Gnana and Vijnana, little deeper perspectives. Gnana, at one level, is knowledge about bhakti, right? So you do Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam. So knowledge about Krishna Bhakti is Gnana. But Vijnana is direct realization of Krishna. So by studying Gita, Bhagavatam and many other scriptures, Bhakti Shastras, you get knowledge about the purity of Bhakti, the greatness of Bhakti. That's wonderful, that's amazing. But once you get knowledge about Bhakti, about Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, you should start practicing that Bhakti. And that practice will give you direct realization of Krishna. So knowing Krishna and realizing Krishna are at different levels. Many people know Krishna. Oh, Krishna has taken birth in Kamsa's prison cell, Mathura. These are the pastimes that he has performed. That's wonderful. Knowing about Krishna is great. All the scriptures are giving us a lot of information about Krishna. But it's our responsibility to convert that information into realization by application. So you know so much about Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela, then you start serving Krishna, chanting his names, remember him, and love his devotees, serve his devotees. Thus, all the knowledge about Krishna, all the Shastric knowledge will will be internalized, and we will realize Krishna. We'll have direct experience of Krishna. That is converting Gnana into Vijnana. So I hope this third line is clear. Let's go to the fourth line. Last line, very simple line. So, uh, by knowing this great knowledge, confidential truth, we will be relieved from all miseries. Let me tell you a simple thing. Why people suffer in this world? Because of ignorance. Ignorance of their own spiritual identity. We are spiritual beings. We are spirit souls. We are servants of Krishna. We are parts of Krishna. We are amshas of Krishna. We have seen in Purushottam Yoga also. Although we are spiritual in nature, we are caught up in the material body, in the material world, and suffering so many material miseries because of our ignorance. We are ignorant of our spiritual identities, right? So, that ignorance will be destroyed by this knowledge about uh, Bhagavad Gita, by this knowledge about pure bhakti. So when you acquire spiritual knowledge, that will destroy your material ignorance. So material ignorance causes miseries. But if you counteract that material ignorance with spiritual knowledge and application, then no material miseries. Okay, let me share one shloka from the prayers of Queen Kunti, although it's out of syllabus from the Bhagavad Gita, but still let's recollect this beautiful shloka. She says, Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma bhi. Bhavesmin klishyamananam. In this world, people undergo miseries because of avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Ignorance of our spiritual identity. And that avidya leads to kama. Kama means material desires. Material ignorance will lead to material desires. And kama leads to karma. Karma means material action. Avidya leads to kama, kama leads to karma. Means material ignorance leads to material desires. Material desires will lead to material actions. And karma leads to klesha, means material suffering in the form of material reactions. So, clear. Avidya, kama, karma, klesha. Means when you are ignorant of your spiritual identity, you have material desires, you perform material actions, and thus you will suffer on a material plane. There are material miseries. To destroy this avidya. Avidya is the root of all these three, right? Avidya leads to kama, karma, klesha. To destroy kama, karma, klesha, convert this avidya into vidya, convert this ignorance into knowledge and realization. Right? That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, this shloka, last line, he says, Yad gnatva mokshasya ashubhat. All ashubhas are gone. In short, to summarize the whole shloka, Krishna says, Oh Arjuna, because you are not envious of me, because you are not envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge. And if that knowledge is applied and practiced, then you can realize it. And by realizing that knowledge, by that gnana and vijnana, you will be relieved from all material miseries. That's the shloka. Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyam yanasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshasya shubhat. So we completed the first shloka. Tomorrow we'll meet and discuss the second shloka. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.